Hi there, this is Jill and Rachel coming to you from the kitchen today. We're going to show you a little bit of seed saving, except it's not plant seeds. These are chicken seeds, aka eggs. And we're going to show you an old-fashioned way that we're using to preserve eggs over the summer for this winter. We saw this on YouTube, Mark did, and so this is what we've been doing. This orange bucket is our 6th bucket that we'll be putting in the basement. And we'll have those. They're supposed to stay good for a minimum of 6 months, all the way up to reportedly 2 years. What we're doing is putting them in a hydrated lime solution. So, courtesy of Amazon, I got pickling lime, and we're mixing it in a ratio of 1 ounce to 1 quart of water. So I have a scale here that I got at Meijer's, or you can get at Walmart, or just about any place. It's just a kitchen scale. And I have I'm going to zero it here. Have a bowl on it. Okay, we're going to make this in gallon sizes. Hang on to that, Rach. Leave it here. We're going to need that, yep. Because we have a lot of people and a lot of hens. So I'm saving these eggs in 5-gallon buckets, but you could put them in containers that you can get at Gordon Foods, just food safe, large containers, whatever suits your family size, your needs, your chicken flock. The key is it needs to be nice and smooth, so these buckets from the hardware work fine, and you got to have a lid that fits to prevent evaporation. Those are the 2 keys to your container. Clean and have a lid. Other than that, anything's possible. So, Rach, we're going to mix this for a gallon, so we're going to use 4 ounces of lime. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and put 4 ounces of lime in the bowl. And then we're going to mix some of the water in that gallon jar into the bowl very slowly and gently. You can see it makes a lot of powder. From experience, you don't really want to breathe in that powder. It kind of will make you cough a little bit. Okay, go ahead and get the water mixing in.
This water?
Yep. No. Put the water into the bowl. Because if you put the lime into the jar of water, it's going to be really hard to mix. There you go. Okay, go ahead and kind of stir that up. And then put it into this jar. This is just how we're doing it. You can mix the 2 together however suits you. You could put it in the jar and then add all your water. I have mixed it in the bucket before, where I measured out the lime and then put it in the bucket. My 5-gallon bucket takes about 2.5 gallons of hydrated lime. And then I can fill the eggs. So as soon as it's mostly done, Rach, go ahead and pour it in the jar. And then add some more water to the bowl. You can see that's pretty thick. So then you'll be able to kind of clean all of what's left in the bowl there out with this water. It takes quite a bit of stirring to make the solution. You're going to want to get the bottom really good. There was some on the bottom. There you go. Then pour it in. This stuff is pretty sticky also, so we're going to have to really scrub that jar by hand. Yeah, now go ahead and pour that in. Okay, so this is hydrating our lime. What the hydrated lime does is coat the egg and seal it so that it doesn't continue to evaporate through the shell and do the decomposing process. The reason that we have the lid on, okay, good job, Rach. You can go ahead and pour that. Okay, these are clean eggs. They're a couple days old. Ideally, you would use day-old eggs. Collect them, store them. But due to time and whatnot, I just haven't been able to do that. So these are a couple days old. There's already some solution in the bottom, so we're just adding to cover. You can see no dents, no little chips or cracks. Here's one that got a little crack, so it's going in the bucket to get washed and used immediately. These are not washed, so if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that your nests are really good and clean. You know that they're covered with a thin coating from the hen that helps keep them preserved. If you wash them, that coating gets removed. When you do this process of preservation, you want that coating on there. So these need to be clean out of the nest, not washed at all, which they are. We're going to go ahead and cover them. And then when the bucket is full, I've got one poking up there just from moving the bucket. These are all covered with water. They're all completely submerged. That's what you want. Then you put the lid on, put it down tight so that there's no evaporation. I labeled them with when I'm saving them, and this is my bucket number 6. That way I make sure I do first in, first out. Okay, Rach, go ahead and pour that in. Make sure that it didn't settle out on the bottom of your jar, too. Okay, beautiful. You did a good job. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead right now and mix up 1 more gallon because we need to add today's eggs, and we're going to fill this bucket up probably today or tomorrow. And then they'll be down in the basement and ready to go. As you store them, if you've got a cool, dark place to store your buckets or containers, that's great. The lady that we saw the video with that we learned this from, she said she put them in her pantry. It was a hot summer and they still did just fine. So it is pretty forgiving of whatever conditions you're storing them in. The key is to have them submerged in the hydrated lime. And from our other research, that seems to be the best old-fashioned way to preserve eggs. If you don't have your own chickens, this is something that you can do in the springtime when whatever farmer you get your eggs from has an overabundance, because that always happens. The chickens get real excited about laying eggs just before farmer's market season starts usually. So the farmer will have an overabundance of eggs. You can harvest some of those, get some of those, preserve them. That way you don't have to be bugging them for eggs when their chickens aren't laying eggs in January and February. This helps preserve your egg harvest, spread it out throughout the year so that you have your own good fresh eggs all year round. This is my bucket of rejects from this bucket. These are still perfectly fine. We're just going to have to wash them, and we'll use those for breakfast or whatever baking. Rachel's going to make zucchini bread to preserve our zucchini, so that's a good way to kind of keep the two things flowing together. Keep the freezer full and keep us eating our good produce all year round. All right, this is Egg Saving 101.